Hello, I'm David Rose, and here's a look at some of our top Crime Stoppers and Washington's most wanted cases this week. Take a look at these photos from an armed robbery 1 week ago in the Ballard neighborhood of Seattle. There were two suspects who came inside the store and a third in that Nissan Xterra working as the getaway driver. But it's how the tiny little terror armed with a handgun on the right there treated a woman working at that shop that is so infuriating. Retired Seattle Police robbery detective Merle Carner talks us through the surveillance video.
These guys are nothing but bullies. You watch this video, they're going to come into the shop. One of them has a mask with a money sign on the front of it. We call it the money man. The smaller suspect's armed, and you watch him closely. You see him actually shove the victim around, shoves a gun into her neck. You see him pushes her several times. It's a wonder that the gun didn't go off. The other guy just nonchalantly loads up thousands of dollars worth of marijuana stuff, puts them in a garbage sack that he actually brought with him. He's even collecting stuff as he's going out, dropping stuff all over the floor. They got a pretty good hit, cash out of the till, plus all the marijuana, paraphernalia, and so forth. It tells me they're not going to stop. Hopefully nobody gets injured in the future. But these guys are armed, and they're certainly dangerous.
Well, as they ran out, they startled that woman there that was coming into the store. They ran to this white Nissan Xterra driven by a third suspect. No description of that suspect. It was last seen going northbound on 5th Avenue Northwest. So take another look at the money man and the tiny terror he was with, who was armed with that black handgun. Both are described by police as black. The taller of the two around 5 feet 9 inches and 20 to 26 years old. The shorter one between 19 and 23 years old and between 5'6" and 5'7". There's no description, as I said, of the getaway driver. But if you can identify either of them or tell detectives who was driving that Nissan Xterra or help locate that vehicle, Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound will pay you a cash reward of up to $1,000. You will be anonymous. Call 1-800-222-TIPS or use the P3 Tips app that you can download to your cell phone for free. Now, the search is on for an armed and dangerous teen who's accused of blasting bullets into a family's apartment in Renton and sticking a gun in the face of a Metro Fair enforcement officer in Des Moines. At just 18 years old, Elijah Paul is wanted in King County for 2 counts of assault after police say he shot into a home with a father, mother, and son inside.
The allegations is that he was visiting a friend of his. That friend had just got kicked out of his apartment. As the friend was up trying to get in to grab some more items, I guess, from the apartment he just got kicked out of. According to a witness, Elijah was seen firing a handgun into the apartment where the mom and dad were inside.
Well, fortunately, no one was hurt. A few months before that shooting, Paul had been arrested and released from jail for a frightening assault on a fair enforcement officer in Des Moines. He's accused of pointing a gun at the officer who was just trying to get him to pay for his bus ride. Des Moines police found Paul a few minutes later lounging in a lawn chair in the parking lot of a nearby apartment complex. They did not find the gun. Well, he was awaiting trial on that case when the shooting in Renton happened in November. Elijah Paul is 5'10" and weighs 130 pounds. If you can tell deputies where to find him, you will remain anonymous and you will get a cash reward of up to $1,000. Submit that information to Crime Stoppers through the hotline or the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. Well, if this woman's working for you, call the police and then check your credit card statements. Sarah Divini is charged in Spokane County with 16 counts of identity theft. She has a warrant for her arrest after she skipped court in late December. Divini's accused of stealing people's credit card numbers through her job in the healthcare field in 2015. She'd used the credit card information to purchase items to be sent to her home in Spokane. Divini's also charged with possession of meth and 8 counts of prescription fraud. She's 40 years old, 5'7", weighs 135 pounds. If you can tell officers where to find her, submit that information to Crime Stoppers of the Inland Northwest for a cash reward of up to $1,000. A fugitive that you helped catch in Billings, Montana last year is on the run again. This is David Hablewitz, a.k.a. G. Gravy. He was in court in Everett last May, where he pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of identity theft, 1 count of possession of stolen property, and 1 count of possession of a controlled substance. He's accused of opening accounts in his ex-girlfriend's name, running up thousands of dollars in charges. He was released from custody on September 30th last year, and then he did not show up for a hearing in December. His trial was supposed to start last month. Well, David is also wanted by the Department of Corrections for breaking probation on his convictions from back in 2013 for vehicular assault and unlawful imprisonment. In that case, Hablewitz had to be tased to be taken into custody after a reckless high-speed chase. A woman in his car had broken ribs from Hablewitz crashing the vehicle into a ditch. She told troopers she had been begging Hablewitz to let her out and thought she was going to die. Well, G. Gravy also has convictions for burglary and thefts. He's 56 years old, 6'2", weighs 196 pounds. He was caught in Montana in January of last year. Police have been on the lookout for him in Tacoma before that. Now, this photo on the right is the most recent. If you know where David Hablewitz is hiding now, he could be anywhere from Linwood to Oregon. Use the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. Submit that information to Crime Stoppers. Or call the hotline at 1-800-222-TIPS. And Crime Stoppers will pay another cash reward of up to $1,000 if you can help officers track him down. Tonight, Seattle Police and the FBI are working with a task force out of Denver to catch a serial armed robbery suspect that we dubbed the Face-Taped Bandit last September. Now take a look at this surveillance video of the suspect with black tape on his face and hat, who detectives have now identified as Lloyd Eugene Rhodes. Police say he threatened to shoot an employee at a movie theater during an armed robbery in the U District. Well, he was there waiting when employees showed up to work, and he was disguised as an employee. Well, that's the same MO that police say he's used in 13 other robberies, entering a business before it closes, hiding, and then waiting until employees arrive the next day. The FBI's Rocky Mountain Safe Streets Task Force is calling him the Make Yourself at Home Bandit, and say Rhodes has hit 14 different restaurants, nightclubs, and movie theaters in Denver, Iowa, Nebraska, Arizona, Tennessee, with the last known robbery in St. Matthews, Kentucky on November 3rd of last year.
We don't think he's in the area, but he has contacts here. And that's what we're after. Somebody here knows the exact location of this guy, and that's who we want to talk to.
Lloyd Rhodes is 57 years old. He's 5 feet 5 inches tall, and he weighs 185 pounds. Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound is offering a cash reward of up to $1,000 for any information that leads to his arrest. And the FBI just raised the reward to $15,000 for any information that leads to his arrest. You can remain anonymous. Submit those tips to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone or call 1-800-222-TIPS. A bold, bomb-threatening bank robber needs to be identified for Tacoma Police. He came into the TAPCO Credit Union on 6th Avenue just before 11:30 a.m. on Friday, December 20th. He walked up to the teller and handed her a note.
The note stated he had a bomb, and if he was not given cash, he would kill people. The teller gave him the cash. He fled the business. This was very unusual behavior in the fact that the suspect claimed to have a bomb and he threatened to kill people. Obviously, we're very concerned. We have really good pictures of this, and we're hoping that someone will be able to identify him and will call Crime Stoppers.
Detectives say he's in his 40s with a stocky build and around 5 feet 7 inches tall. If you know this bomb threat bandit's name, use that P3 Tips app on your cell phone. Submit the information to Crime Stoppers along with any photos you have of him, or you can call 1-800-222-TIPS. There's a cash reward of up to $1,000 for anybody that can help Tacoma Police identify him. Well, that's a preview of some of the cases featured this weekend on Washington's Most Wanted. To see the rest of them, tune in tonight at 11 on Q13 Fox, tomorrow night at 9:30 on Joe TV, and 10:30 on Q13. And then at 10:30 on Fox TV stations in Spokane, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities. It takes all of us to make sure that these criminals have nowhere left to hide.